everybody. Welcome to Around Town TV. I am so excited to have with me tonight Maggie Mell from Edina Realty. Thanks for being here, Maggie.
Sure. Hi, Carla. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Maggie and I go back many, many years when Around Town TV was first on the air.
Yeah.
We worked together featuring a business of hers, and we're just so excited that she's gone into real estate. We know the market's hot right now for sellers.
Absolutely.
And so for those of you that are going to be just tuning in here at 7 o'clock, feel free, if you've worked with Maggie, share comments of your experiences, but more importantly, if you're somebody who's thinking of putting your house on the market, but you're thinking, oh, it's dated, or I need to do too much work, or all these different things. She is a degree designer, and that is her specialty. And she's going to share and show you a few little things you can do at little or no cost to make your house staged right to sell, and we'll get into that too. But I just so appreciate you being here to share your wisdom. And as people are tuning in, we do have people online. I know that it is a hot market. That is one of the things we've been talking about. But does a person need to carpet or paint and do all those things if their house is dated? Or what would you recommend?
It sort of depends. It's house by house. And what I really emphasize for my clients is clean. That's the most important word. Have everything looking clean. So if your countertops are possibly Formica, but they're clean, no marks, no burns, everything looks presentable, you might be able to leave it, because sometimes it's better to let the buyer have a chance to put their stamp on this home that could be theirs.
Oh.
And with carpeting, I feel like if there's really no odor, if there aren't any stains, if it looks fresh enough, you can get by with it. So it's kind of, it's really a case-by-case basis, but the most important part is have the home be presentable, let the buyer get in there and
do their own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense, because I know it is fearful for a lot of people because things do get dated quickly.
They do.
Yeah, so what is like the best bang for the buck items that a seller can do to prep their home?
I love this one because actually I love to do it myself.
I know you do.
Paint. Paint is the most important thing. A gallon of paint is literally $32 to $38.
Oh.
And if you can paint a room and do it yourself, it will be fresh. There won't be any marks on the wall. Pick a neutral color, and people notice fresh paint. They can smell it, they can see it, and it makes a difference. It really is like tailoring the home.
Well, and that's funny you say the smell thing, because this is something that I'm just picky about. When you go into someone's home, there's usually a smell or a scent, and most of the time it's a good one, but many times it's not, and people don't realize they have their brand, if you will, of a smell, because it's theirs, so they're used to their own smell. I love going into a home that smells new, or was just cleaned, or that sort of thing. But let's talk a little bit about that. What should someone do to make it appealing to a buyer?
One thing I suggest is don't over-scent, because I think sometimes sellers are so worried about it selling great or smelling great that they'll go get like a Glade plug-in or something that it can actually overwhelm people if they don't like a strong scent. And on the flip side, if you are a great chef and you cook with a lot of garlic or curry or whatever strong, what if you have a buyer that is, in an early trimester of pregnancy? That garlic smell could be so offensive just because of her situation that she can't concentrate on the house anymore. And as a seller, they've got to be able to see all the highlights of the home. And if they're so bothered by the scent, it's a turnoff.
I'm one of those people. I have a very strong stomach, but I've never been pregnant, but when I go into a home and I smell that curry or garlic, it makes me want gay.
It can be too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, another one, four-legged friends. I have a little Mimi. I know you love animals too. What should people do when they're selling their home, especially during showings with their four-legged friends?
Well, we all love our dogs and cats, and the thing is sometimes that showing is super stressful for the animal, especially a dog. A dog is supposed to protect their home. If they're barking, and say they were put in a laundry room kenneled, and everything's great for the dog and they're comfortable there usually, you have a bunch of strangers coming in And the dog is overwhelmed, and if they're barking the entire showing, people will literally leave. The other thing with a cat is, what if someone has an allergy,
Right.
and they see this cat scurrying around, jumping on the kitchen counter? Now the buyer's like, ooh, there's
Gross.
a cat always on this kitchen counter.
Their eyes are watering.
Yeah, I don't think I want this house. So sometimes
Right.
it's best, take the animals with you, put them in the car, have a neighbor come grab them, whatever it is. Showings are generally never longer than 30 minutes.
No, and that is so true. If you're just tuning in, my name is Carla Berline, and I am very lucky to have a longtime dear colleague and friend, Maggie Mell from Edina Realty. And we know there's a lot of realtors out there, but I have to tell you, I've known Maggie a long time. She's got a good business sense. She's a degree designer. She knows how to make her house look good. She just has so many wonderful ideas, and it's her passion. You just love that. It's the hobby of yours.
I do. It doesn't feel like work at
No,
all.
I bet it doesn't for you. Thanks to all of you who are tuning in. I'm so grateful. Hi, Jim. Jim Benson had said hello. Hi, John. Hi, Fred. We were talking about different things you can do with your home, and we're talking about smells and four-legged friends. Decluttering, that is a big deal. I can't tell you how many homes when I've been buying or purchasing, they're so cluttered, and it's hard for people to imagine it without the clutter.
That's the whole issue, is that if you have too many personal items, the buyer only sees your personal items, and it's hard to take down the photograph of your great kids and your Christmas card pictures, but really I see buyers looking at the photos, and they've lost the sight of, oh, this is a great family room. Instead, they're concentrating on the beautiful black and white photos. So you kind of want to take the photos down, put your objet d'art away. You don't need a lot of things. You just need a few simple things to kind of set the stage.
Oh, and that's funny you say that, because I didn't realize to the extent, and also with people, like if you have a picture of a local celebrity, it gets people's attention, and in fact, I have a girlfriend who was selling her house, and this is when my show, so we've been on air for 16 years, and one of the longest airing shows, but when we were first starting, I didn't know how many people really did watch it, which of course that's your goal, but my girlfriend called me, she goes, yeah, did you know you're a celebrity? And I said, I am, and she said, yeah, my realtor made me take the picture down of you and I because she watches your show.
Right.
And this is when it had only been on like 18 months. And I didn't,
true.
and you don't know. And so, and I thought, that's a good point. And I love having pictures of pro hockey like real celebrities, I think. And in my home, and when we were selling our home, we had to do the same thing.
Right.
So that makes sense in the decluttering and just to give people room to walk and things.
Right. And the buyer has to imagine their own items in your kitchen, in your family room, in their bedroom. So if they can only concentrate on your items, they can't visualize their own things in that space.
What about the opposite extreme? We know when the market crashed and there was a lot of empty homes, sadly. Is that good too, just to move all your stuff out?
Sometimes it is, and I would definitely rely on your realtor for that advice, but for an open space that is self-explanatory, what the room is, that can be great too, because then for the person who might not have the imagination of what their own items would look like in the room, it's now a blank slate, clean.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Okay, so how important is staging?
Well, personally, I think it's hugely important because there are a lot of people who can't imagine what things will look like, and staging just sets the scene. So, for instance, in a kitchen, you can put next to the coffee maker 2 cups, cute little dish towel, and look, you've made like a coffee bar. And that person is like, oh, that's so relaxing. I want to have this kitchen because look at how cute that coffee bar is. Same with pillows and things on a couch. You want it to look fresh and clean and give the idea. I always say, remember when J. Crew started, I think it was late 80s?
Yes.
They sold, for their fashion, they sold the idea of a weekend, of loungewear, of clothing that was relaxing. So even if everyone was busy, they still wanted to own the J. Crew clothes because they wanted to pretend they were someday going to lounge in that loungewear. Same is true with real estate. If you have a house that looks exactly like what the buyer envisioned, they see themselves there and they want to buy it.
Oh my gosh, we've just had a lot of people tuning in. Hi to Frederick, Debbie, Eric, John, and Melissa wrote, "Hi Carla, just checking in, looking good." Hi Melissa. Always good to have our friends joining us. I have one of my dear friends, and can you step this way a little bit more. I just realized you're a little bit out of the shot. But it's really great to have Maggie Mell here from Edina Realty. She is, there's a lot of realtors out there, but just like any industry, like a hairdresser, dentist, there's some that are the creme de la creme. And I certainly have that with you. I didn't realize because I have my shot editor thing over there, so I'm glad I was able to get you over here. We've been talking through homes. We've been talking through some of the biggest questions, some of the hesitations, reservations. It's the biggest, usually the biggest thing you'll purchase of your life, but also when you're selling, nobody likes to move. Well, maybe people do, but it's never your favorite thing. But if you have an expert that can guide you through the process, make it seamless, organized, plan, it doesn't have to be a horrible thing.
It doesn't, and I really, maybe it's just what I love to do, but I will go appliance shopping for my clients. I will help them pick out countertops. If they want to repaint and they're like, I don't know what color to do, I'll bring my paint deck over. And we'll just pick a color that matches like a fabric in their family room or living room, and we'll go from there. So I kind of like to do full service as far as staging. Getting the home prepped from beginning is a lot easier to get the whole picture done.
Well, and in a little bit, we're going to actually show you. She actually brought some stuff, and we're going to change the shot here shortly and show you what she can do for little or no money. But before we do, let's go to when you're working with a buyer versus the seller. How do you help a buyer overlook like dated areas in a home, potential homes, and how do you also help them? Well, I'll ask that next.
What I do is I basically use my design to give them creative ideas. So if they are thinking, gosh, this family room is a little small, obviously I am not a contractor, but I can suggest ideas like, if this is not a load-bearing wall, what if you did this? Or if it is a load-bearing wall, what if you created a post and you made like a peninsula? And then all of a sudden we visualize what the space can look like. So I like to show them what they can do. And then if they walk in and it's a Formica countertop and they just don't want Formica, I'll explain to them really what the effort is to get the new countertop, and it's not as much as you think. I think it's overwhelming, but when I can explain, this is really not a big deal, here's 3 places you should go, then I help them get to the get it done.
Well, and so my next question too is, and I appreciate that. My next question is something that I am a fan of as well. And what it is, it has to do with helping buyers who feel they need to see every house out there. I can tell you I'm probably a realtor's dream. My very first house, I looked at 3 homes, and it's only because he made me look at 2 others. My next, where I went from a townhome to a home, I found the house online. I called my realtor and I said, I found my home. She said, no, we haven't even gone searching. I said, no, if this home looks just like these pictures, and these pictures are real, we're going to be making an offer. And we did.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what you like.
Yes, and I feel like it's a lot like wedding dress shopping. For example, when you put on that dress and you know it's the one, you know. Just like if you're car shopping, you get in that car and it feels right and it's got your criteria, it's the car.
Right.
So when you walk into a house, just like what happened to you, it might just be one and done. It could be the one. So it's an emotional response.
Right.
But then there's also the flip side of the buyer that's so afraid of, and it's a total legit concern, but they're afraid of missing out. They're afraid of, there's 30 homes in this area. I don't know if I should settle for this one. It's never settling if it feels right. But like the wedding dress, you can't try on every single wedding dress created in the world. So you've got to stick with your goals and your criteria. If you want a 3-bedroom house, then don't look at 2-bedroom houses. If your number is getting larger and larger for your search. And let your agent guide you. If you say, I know I said I want a 2-car garage, and you fall in love with a 1-car, have your agent gently give you the nudge, but you said you wanted a 2-car, is this the one? So it's a team effort.
Well, and someone to keep you in check, because it is easy, it can be overwhelming, but if you know what you want and you like, and you set a price range, and your realtor can guide you, so you're setting realistic expectations, it's going to be much more fun, and it can be. And it should be.
Yes.
Let's see, we've still got quite a few people online. Thank you for all of you who are tuning in. My name is Carla Berlin. You're watching Around Town TV, and my dear friend and realtor, Maggie Mell from Edina Realty is with us. She's been giving us some tips and is soon going to show you something. But I do have one last big question. I'm sure you'll have things you're going to want to add, but I'm hearing multiple offers. How do you help a buyer win that war?
Ooh, it's tough right now. It's really great to be a seller right now, not as great to be a buyer. Recently, I'll give you an example of a buyer that I had. We had lost 2 already in multiples, and it's stressful. It's very hard. So as an agent, what I will do is sometimes I'll shorten the length of the inspection. So typically it's 10 days. Sometimes I'll say, hey, let's put this number in. I will have my mortgage broker who's representing these clients call the listing agent and explain what great qualified buyers they are. Because if a seller's getting 15 offers, they need to know the one they choose is going to get to the closing table.
Right.
That's the most important piece.
Right,
Yes.
it is.
So just helping them pick. I have a lot of strategies in the actual contract, and I explain it to buyers that if we do this, it's a stronger offer. So you want the offer as clean and strong as possible.
And that's a big thing. You don't even think of that. You think, okay, now I want to buy it. Let's just tell them the price. And there's so much more to that. Hi to my dear friend Marianne Massey, who said hi, Carla. Hi, Jenny. Hi, David. Hi, Joe. Hi, John. Hi, Carolyn and Bob. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, should we show them?
Sure.
A couple things, or was there anything else you wanted to mention before we do that?
No, I think just giving them a little example will be fun.
Yes. Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this down. I will look at your comments if you have questions or whatever, and you want to know how to. One good thing, if someone wants to reach you, and yes, you can reach us privately, messaging us through social media and/or in the comments, but how can they reach you?
It's easy. Just go to my website, maggiemell.com, and you'll find all my contact information there.
Great. And I will tag everything when we're done. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera, I'm going to pull it back and turn it around so she can give you an idea of what you can do to a room for little or next to nothing, and with just a few pillows and things. So I'm going to put this down and so I can follow Maggie with the camera. And I'm going to bring this way. Whoops. And I'll tell you when I have it. Okay. Keep you in the shot. I'm going to go over here. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to keep her in the shot. And I'll bring it down now.
So what I'm going to do is just remove the pillows that were here already.
Okay.
They're great pillows, lots of colors, but I'm just going to show a new example of what it can look like.
I'll get the shot ready so everybody's... get the light on it here. She's going to be showing you an example of what we can do, but I'm going to, and because we're our own little one-woman show here, I wanted to make sure you can get the right shots of all this. So,
tell me when
we are ready for you to show the pillows.
So here is just a blank canvas of a tan couch. So I know that there's blue in this room already. So like for a client, if I know they love blue or it'll match something in the house, I went ahead and found some blue pillows. I'll add a third one because I have this thing about odd numbers. And then I will throw on the couch just for a little interest and color.
Okay.
And then next to the couch is a blank table. So what I'll do is put this hurricane on top. And books are a huge thing for me. I love coffee table books. So I'll put a book, maybe a picture.
Hi, Chuck and Mary. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Tracy. Hi, David. Hi, Jenny. Okay.
And there. So this is basically, all it is just a refresh.
Okay.
So
move this out of the shot.
Okay, no problem.
Yep.
We just did blue and tan, blue and off-white. Kept it simple. It looks inviting. Looks like you could just sit here on a Sunday afternoon and watch a Wild game.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me. It does, and it's so. It looks like something you'd see in a store.
Yeah, it's just, and it was easy. Anybody can do this. It really isn't that hard. But if you're not comfortable, that's what I love to do. So that's part of the service.
And that is something that Maggie can help you with, and why you would want to hire someone like Maggie as your realtor. So that you can have somebody show you how to do all of this with the pillows, and to be able to make your house get it selling ready to be sold.
Absolutely.
And with just a few tips of, it sounds like smelling good, and in fact, I'm going to walk back into the shot here. And this is so inviting, but just a few tips to be able to, whether it's the smell. Now, I've heard people like in open houses make cookies and stuff for that scent. Is that something you recommend, or?
Well, it can make somebody fear you're covering something up.
Oh,
the idea was to be homey and but you can light a really mild candle if you just want like that homey feel on the kitchen counter. But I generally don't do the cookies anymore.
That is such a good point, and I can't tell you, when my mom and dad's home was in a really unique area that had changed a lot, beautiful home. And they bought at the peak of the market back in 2004, and then when they went to sell, they finally sold it in 2016. But we literally ended up moving out first because it was on the market for almost 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
And it was through that price of, they didn't have to sell, and we didn't have a strategic, we had a great realtor, but then when we decided to take it off the market and put it back on, we didn't have the right guidance of getting it ready.
Right.
And I think there was the personal ties when someone's lived there forever, like my mom, and we didn't have someone willing to say, this is what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what, sometimes you just have to hear it.
Right.
And I don't say anything harsh. I just say, let's refresh. And that's
Right.
where we go. Yes.
Well, and a lot of women specifically, it's their stuff
Yes.
and but if you're not a designer by trade, and even like my mom, for example, paid a very expensive designer to design that home, but things become dated and you need new and fresh, and what is maybe you paid a designer for isn't necessarily what's going to sell that home.
Right, and it's not a criticism. Really what you're saying is, what I'm saying to my clients is, let me get it ready for buyer's eyes.
Yeah.
So it's not about what you have or don't have in your home, it's let me stage it for a buyer to fall in love. That's
Right.
the point.
Yes, and that's why you've been so successful at what you do in your craft, and I'm so proud of you. Eric wrote, Maggie is spot on. There's a reason why she's making the inroads she is. Great stuff, ladies. Thank you, Eric, for that comment, as I agree with you, but I've known Maggie a long time, so we appreciate that. Guy and Tammy and Mike, thank you for tuning in. Tina wrote, loving this, go Maggie. And I agree. If you're just tuning in and you're like, oh great, Carla's on with a pretty blonde, and she's, you're listening to her talk and she's smart, you know what she's talking about. And yes, there are a lot of realtors, and it's important to work with somebody you trust. And not only is she somebody you trust, but if you've just listened to this, and even if you haven't, you can go back and watch it. We'll have it posted. She knows what she's talking about, from staging to the smell to the offer. That is key right now. I have seen a lot of people in tears, and then heard about people selling their home and how they picked a buyer.
Right.
And you are spot on before what you said. You have to be creative. You want someone where the house is going to close.
Yes.
But you also, there's definitely just different little things, and you want a person. It's more than just someone who's going to care about your home the way you loved it.
Right, and I've actually had a home chosen for my buyer from a seller because they heard that they had a dog that was their same breed that they used to own. So it's all such an emotional, it's a business decision, but it's emotional.
It is, and do you help kind of take that out a
yes,
little? Yes,
it's really, it's like you were saying, it's the biggest purchase of your life, and it's the hardest thing to sell because of all the memories. But always remember, the memories aren't left in the home, they go with you.
Well, and we all know that a lot of people went through a lot of challenges, whether it's medical, whether it's losing a job, a divorce. The market crashed.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many of my dear friends were short-sailed, or they let their homes go back. You need somebody who can guide you. It's a part of life.
Yes.
It's called business. It's called life. Life isn't easy. You have no idea how many people out there have gone through tough times, and you want someone on your side who's compassionate, like Maggie, who can help you through the process, make it seamless. I have a girlfriend who, her and her husband had to short sell their house, and they rented for 2 years, and they just bought again.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, there are ways to get everything back.
You can get there.
It is your biggest purchase, but then you have to try to make it like it's only a house.
Yes.
As you're doing the business.
And there's so many mortgages right now that are different options for every single person's situation. I work with a fantastic mortgage broker in my office, and he can kind of create the mortgage and the plan for each individual buyer. And he's on my team, and it's a great team.
That is awesome. I was looking down because, hi Michael, another Michael joined us. Marianne Massey wrote, very informative. I agree. And Marianne, you'd love Marianne. She'd be a girlfriend.
Oh,
She's hanging out
awesome.
with us. Yes, she's a sweetheart. And has experience with homes and etc. And I really appreciate all of you that have stayed on. If you need to reach Maggie, you can go to the website.
Yep, MaggieMell.com, and on my Instagram, Maggie Mell Edina Realty, I do little videos all the time with little staging things, and they're kind of fun. They're short, and it gives you great little tips to
They're
do
more
in your
than
home.
kind of fun. I called her and asked her who her videographer was. And when you told me how she does them, I'm just like, well, there you go. Kind of like tonight. I can run this camera and everything from here, except for I can tell the shot needs to be come down on us, but I wanted you to be able to see the couch. And with a one-woman show here, you just, it's easy to do, and you can make it, and you can show different things in the home, and I've watched you do it, and you've done a great job. Another great realtor friend of mine is watching, Lisa Schleifer, LeBrand. She is someone you need to meet too. She's awesome and like you, seasoned, and works here and in Florida. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Tim. A lot of the videos are awesome. Mitch said that. So, and you're right, Mitch. When I asked her who was working for her and who was doing them, and you do such a great job, and you've done a great job tonight. I'm just so honored that you would give up your busy schedule to come be on the show.
It was super fun.
Great. And is there a way, an email and or a phone number too we can get them?
Sure. It's MaggieMell@EdinaRealty.com, and I'll give my cell, which is 612-865-9599.
Great. And Donald said, nice job, Maggie. Sarah is watching, and we really appreciate it. We've had a good following tonight, and I just have to say thank you. I know the beautiful weather is out there, so you could be outside. Well, you can bring your laptop and your phone to watch us anywhere. That's the great thing about Around Town TV. You can watch us anywhere, anytime, on 18 different social media platforms. So the ones we've given you here that you're seeing, but this will be up on our website. It'll be on several boards on Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn when we're done, as well as some more Facebook pages, Instagram as well. So just feel free to, if you missed part of this and you want to go back or you weren't sure what she said, you can go back and watch it. We have just been grateful to be able to bring you Minnesota's best kept secrets and businesses and people for over 16 years. This is our 231 1st edition,
wow.
First, I should say. I was joking there. 231st edition of Around Town TV, and it's been such an honor. Maggie was featured on my show many, many years ago when I first got started, so how cool is it to have her back on? And it's just great to be able to show you some of the best in the business and give those tips. So is there anything else before we close that you'd like to share?
Just don't overthink anything. It all works out how it's supposed to, really, in the end.
That's great advice. And if you're somebody who is going through a time that's stressful and you didn't feel you're watching, but you didn't feel comfortable posting or asking questions, because it is personal, message me, message Maggie. I will tag her in this. When we're done, I'll go back and do that right away so you can reach her. And she has shared the video, so you can go to where it's been shared. And one of us will respond within 24 hours for sure, probably sooner, knowing both of us. And please, just don't hesitate at any time, or if it's down the road and you're like, hey, that gal that was on that knew what she was talking about, I'd like to talk to her. So we appreciate that. And
thank you for having me. It was super fun.
Oh, thank you. And for those of you who could hear little Mimi upstairs, she's not one dog who likes to be on TV, but she likes to play all the time, and I could hear her ball going, and I was like, ah! But that's part of live TV, and we are in a home right now, and hopefully that some of our tips were valuable. Tune in next Tuesday evening, because I will be bringing this show live to you from the NABO, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners. It's their Hall of Fame Awards. I'm emceeing the event, so we're going to live stream it from there so you can find out. I believe there's 9 recipients of business owners in town that'll be receiving be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So go girl power.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So please tune in for that. We've got a lot of great shows coming up. I really appreciate you tuning into Around Town TV, and we will see you next Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Around Town TV. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.